Hello everyone, today I'll be doing a hands-on review on this new Nikon 16-35 f4 lens. First impressions, it's long, it's light, and it's thin, okay, wait for that. It's a long lens, okay, without the hood. Without the hood, it's about the same size as the 24-17 Nikon without the hood. It's quite long. The lens is quite long. First look, I thought this was a telephoto lens on the internet. It's definitely longer than the 17-35 f2.8. This lens ships with a hood, the HB23, which is the same as the Nikon 17-35 f2.8. With the hood, it's like this. It clicks on securely and it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, but I don't think you need the lens hood for this lens, because this lens handles very well in terms of flaring and ghosting and when you point this lens straight at the sun. Okay, done with the long. It's light. When I arrived at the camera shop, I picked up the 16-35 box. It's the typical Nikon gold box. But the thing I've noticed when I picked this lens up from the box is that it's light. For me, this is a very lightweight lens, and it's great for traveling. For full frame, it's great for landscapes, and for DX, it's great for all around. Why? Because the 24-70 on the full frame, on the crop frame, it's not quite as wide, and if you plan to go full frame, I don't think you're going to spend your money on the 17-55 if you're going to stay with Nikon, because I have had some experiences with Tamron and Sigma with the image, with the quality control and stuff like that. So stick to Nikon. Yeah, that's the advice. Okay, done with the lightweight. It's thin. What do I mean by thin? It has a 77mm thread, which is the same as most Nikon Pro grade lens. But the part here at the back, it is not as thick. It's smaller. And when I first handled this lens, I was looking for the zoom ring. I was thinking, where the hell is the zoom ring? I've touched this part and I rotated it. Okay, it doesn't zoom. And then I actually looked and I was holding the wrong place. If you are used to Nikon 77 lenses, then you have to spend some time turning this thing. But one thing I have to praise Nikon for all the pro grade lenses is that they're evenly spaced. Okay, from 16-35 it turns a 90 degrees angle. From 16-35 it's anti-clockwise. It's clockwise, typical of Nikon. When you zoom in, it's okay. Maybe you can't see it in front of the camera, but I'm gonna tell you. From 16-24, the lens front element goes in. Yeah, it goes in, and then from 24-35, it comes back out. Okay, so when I zoom back from 35 to 16, it goes in and comes back out. Okay, I don't really understand this, the way it works, but I think it's the same mechanism as the 24-70 Nikon. Some notes about this lens. There's a filter thread. If you are to use a filter on this lens, a UV filter for protection, please do buy a slim filter, or if you buy Kenko or Hoya, get the Protector W. It's made in Japan, it's multi-coated, and it's thin. The side here is thin. It's thinner than the normal UV filters, which is essential for this wide-angle lens if you are to use it on the full-frame camera. If you stick to crop frame for this lens, whichever filter does well, that's fine. On full frame, if you don't use a slim filter, it will cause some serious vignetting and even some black edges when you're at 16. And VR. This 16-35 has a VR in the lens, integrated in the lens. There have been many discussions on the internet saying that it's useless on a wide-angle lens, but I have to strongly disagree with that. I've been doing some street shooting yesterday at 8 at night, and I find VR very useful. When I'm zoomed in at 35, at f4, and VR turn on, I can handle this thing at half a second of exposure. On my 24-70, which doesn't have the VR, or my 24-70 Sigma without the optical stabilization, the slowest I can hold at f2.8 is 25th of a second. There's a big difference. So yeah. Some main facts about this lens: it has a NanoCrystal Coat denoted by this golden N, and it's made in Japan. So quality control, yes. One thing I have to point out is that this focusing window is quite useless for my use. From infinity, it turns, and there are only four different readings: infinity, 0.5, 0.35, and 0.28 meters. With so little figures, I have no idea why they have included a focusing window. So that may have pumped up the price, which is not a good thing for me. This is an AFS lens, so there's full-time manual override focusing. When you're in autofocus and you move the switch to MA, whenever the focus is wrong, you can move it instantly, which is great. Whether you should buy this lens or not, if you like landscapes, yes, it's a good choice. Definitely good choice with the filter thread. Lee makes filters for the 14-24, but it's quite big and it's quite expensive. If you are a crop frame shooter, but plan to upgrade to the full frame in the future, this is a good choice as a walk around lens. On DX, it's the same as a 24-50. If you are a crop frame shooter and don't plan to upgrade to full frame in the future, the 16-85 might be a better choice for its reach. Yeah, but this lens performs close to this 14-24, and it's a legendary lens, I can say. Compared to the Canon 17-40L, this lens blows it out of the water. Yeah, so this is it for this hands-on review, and please stay tuned for my next video on the 16-35, where I'll be commenting on the image quality, chromatic aberrations, light fall off, and other stuff like that. Hope you have a nice day.